Edinburgh was never designed to be a comfortable city. Long before it became a capital, this place was chosen for one reason: survival. A volcanic ridge rose above the surrounding land, offering protection, visibility, and control. People built upward, not because they wanted to, but because there was nowhere else to go. Every street, every wall was shaped by danger, fear, and the constant need to endure. This is a city where geography became destiny. At the western end of this narrow ridge stands Edinburgh Castle. Not merely a fortress, but a statement carved in stone. Built upon the remains of an ancient volcano, the castle rises high above the valley below. From this position, its occupants could observe the entire city. Movement was visible, approach was predictable, power was unmistakable. For centuries, this height meant control. Here is a striking fact. Despite its majestic appearance, the castle was rarely taken by force. It was a fortress that appeared more often than it was conquered. It changed hands through betrayal, famine, and political deals. One of the least conquered castles in Europe. Below the castle spreads the old town, compressed, layered, claustrophobic. Space here was precious. Buildings expanded upward, floor by floor rather than outward. Multiple families within a single structure, stacked floor upon floor where the lowest levels barely see the sun. Privacy in the old town was almost unknown. Windows served many purposes, but ventilation was rarely one of them. Waste was thrown directly into the streets below. A warning cry, "Gardyloo!" was often the only protection. The city lived constantly on the edge. Running eastward is the Royal Mile, the city's central artery. It connects Edinburgh Castle to the Palace of Holyrood. Here all classes intersected. Soldiers marched past merchants. Lawyers brushed shoulders with beggars. This was a city of intellect and ideas, yet burdened by dirt, noise, and relentless crowding. Edinburgh was both one of Europe's most educated cities and one of its dirtiest. Church spires dominate the skyline. Faith shaped daily behaviour, but it also enforced discipline. Sermons regulated morality. Belief reinforced obedience. Religion offered meaning and maintained order in a city under constant strain. Smoke was ever present. Coal fires burned day and night, darkening walls and skies alike. So persistent was the haze that Edinburgh earned a name, Old Reekie, the old smoky city. By the early 18th century, Edinburgh's streets were patrolled by British soldiers, their red coats muted under an overcast sky. After the Jacobite uprisings, British troops were stationed throughout the city. Their role was protection and surveillance. Among them, some wore the Highland kilt, a garment far more than a simple skirt. In the 17th century, the kilt, known as the Great Kilt, was a versatile piece of military equipment. The lower part was folded into pleats around the waist and secured with a wide leather belt. The upper length of fabric was draped over the left shoulder, serving as a cloak in rain, a hood against the cold, or even a sleeping wrap on long marches. Soldiers wore it, without undergarments. Wool dried quickly against the skin, and extra layers only caused irritation in Scotland's damp climate. Yet, the kilt's symbolic power would soon make it dangerous to wear after the Scottish defeat at Culloden in 1746. The British government issued the Dress Act. Its purpose was clear: to destroy clan identity and the martial spirit of the Highlands. For 36 years, from 1747 to 1782, the kilt was officially banned, with one exception: Scottish regiments in the British Army, such as the Black Watch. It was through the army that the kilt survived, slowly evolving into the small kilt, the form recognised today. If you ever walk the streets of Edinburgh today, every local guide will tell you this story. It is a legend woven into the very fabric of the city, and it's one you won't easily forget. In the 17th and 18th centuries, Edinburgh was so overcrowded that people began building a city under the city. Centuries later, during repair works, a blocked tunnel was discovered. It led from Edinburgh Castle all the way to Holyrood Palace. But the tunnels were dangerous. Adults feared to enter because of the risk of coal lapse or lack of oxygen. And so, they often used children or teenagers for the task. This is where the story of the lone piper begins. In those days, there were no radios or means of communication. The only way to track someone underground was to listen. A bagpipe was the loudest instrument available. The only sound powerful enough to be heard through the thick stone and heavy cobblestones of Edinburgh. A young piper was sent into the darkness, playing a steady tune so those above could follow his path. The townspeople walked along the Royal Mile listening to the music beneath their feet. But then, legend points to a very specific spot, the Tron Kirk. It was here that the music abruptly stopped. Search parties were sent into the tunnel, but they found nothing. No boy, no bagpipes, and not even an exit. The tunnel simply ended in a solid stone wall. He had vanished. But some say, if you stand near the Tron Kirk on a quiet, misty night, you can still hear the faint, ghostly notes of a piper still trying to find his way out of the dark.